Murder My Journal. Today I want to talk about the suspect blood, CZ, B2, a red shed, and a green Jeep. So here's Brandon Maddox to lead us in.
And all our friends, I was wrong and you were right. But your sins that happened in the dark will come out in the light. I'm not gonna waste my breath, I won't put up a fight. 'Cause the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until they give you out the truth. Time will tell, time will tell on you.
Thank you, Brandon. That was absolutely wonderful. That is Time Will Tell on You by Brandon Maddox. I wanted to do a couple shout outs here. One specifically to TikTok Manitowoc. We appreciate everything you do. It's incredible, and hats off to you. As well as I want to also shout out to the Eric Coes team. You Coes heads are amazing. You rock, and everybody's on the same page here. We all are trying to get justice and a fair trial for those that are wrongfully convicted. So let's go ahead and dig in. Thanks for watching, and here we go. So I went ahead and scooped up this little Reddit on TikTok Manitowoc, and it was written by Seeking Truth for Good. Possible evidence connections between items CX and B2, a 1995 green Grand Cherokee Laredo, blood swabs, 50-gallon drums in a red shed, and other items. Well, that's a lot of information, a little bit overwhelming. So we're going to try to break this down for you. Let's go ahead and talk about the blood drops with CX and B2, as well as the 1995 green Grand Cherokee Laredo. So they go on to talk about their research, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. They explain that they found certain evidence ledgers and tags which seem to suggest a connection between the two, plus finding broader connections of other evidence. So in order for us to understand this, let's just focus on the blood, the red shed, and the green Jeep, okay? So let's go to box 2. It says Ledger 5204, which is the November 10th evidence collected from the Southeast Quarry. Item CX, which produced a full DNA sample. Let's stop there. So this is CX item, is a full DNA sample which does not match the victim Teresa Hallback, nor excuse me, the suspect, Stephen Avery. And so let's jump down to number 4. Box 4 says Ledgers 520, 5183, 5184, 5185, which are the November 6th evidence collected from Alan and Dolores Avery, plus the large red metal shed by their home. All right, let's see what we've got after that. So they go on to say within this red shed, not only did officers locate the 1995 green Jeep, Grand Cherokee Laredo, and 50-gallon drums, they located 3 blood spots on concrete just behind the Jeep. So let's take a minute there. So on the Avery property at Dolores and Alan Avery's, they have a red shed, and in the shed is this vehicle, and it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, and on the concrete behind it are 3 drops of blood, and we have a full spectrum on the blood, and yet it's not been discussed in this trial. Suspect blood, to me, to you. Until we know who it is, it's suspect. So it does bring to mind that this is very close to the actual victim's vehicle in color and somewhat in style. If you're not a big car person like myself, if I saw this go by and then I had to tell somebody later to describe it, I might describe it as a SUV of some sort, a dark green SUV, and that's what Teresa Hallbach's vehicle was described as by some others as well. It is remarkable how much the two vehicles could be mistaken for each other. So let's continue to read. In reading reports and listening to dispatch calls, people reported seeing a green Jeep backed up to the turnaround by the river and at various places on 147. Blaine also submitted a new affidavit stating Bobby was seen by Blaine driving a green SUV during a time when Bobby said he was hunting. And furthermore, it goes on to say, in looking at the 1995 green Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo compared to the RAV4 shown on TV and the missing persons poster, it's not surprising people may have been really seeing this green Jeep. Now let's stop there for a minute. As I recall, there were two hunters that had called into Manitowoc County to report this suspicious green or dark green truck pulled up by the river there at 147. So I have located that for us, and I want to take the time to listen to it with you.
Speaking. Yeah, I would like to turn something in. Thursday, we were turkey hunting out by Richard Rumford. Yes. Okay, and there was a dark truck parked down the road on it would be on the south side of the road. It'd be the first driveway after the bridge where it crosses the West Twin River. And there was a guy walking down in the trails down there with waders on. Looked like he had waders on. And it was a dark colored truck. I don't know if it was, my buddy said it was a green one. I don't know if it was green, blue, or black. You know, I saw the truck down there, but I didn't see the guy. I saw the guy. Maybe I could help you, maybe not.
Okay. Help us with what, sir?
What's that?
Help us with what?
With this Avery thing.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to transfer to Kelly County, okay?
Oh, you're not handling it at all.
Well, we have to transfer these kind of calls there, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'm transferring you. Hang on.
So let's go back over that a little bit. So the hunter's explaining that on 147 there's a dark green truck and it's pulled over on the side of the road by the river, and there's a guy down in the river in waders. Now this would be November 1st. This is the state of Wisconsin. I'm very, very familiar with the state, and there should be no reason that this gentleman is in that cold water in waders at that time. So that is suspicious, and if the hunters were used to seeing things like that, I doubt they would have called it in. So the question is, who's down at the river, and are they recognizing the right vehicle, or are they mistaking the two? So let's keep going. So I've went ahead and pulled up Blaine Dassey's signed affidavit, and it was signed on the 25th day of June 2018, notarized by Gary R. Smith. So one of the points that Blaine states on this affidavit is number 20, and he states, on October 31st, 2005, when the school bus driver brought Brendan and me home, as we traveled west on State Highway 147, I saw Bobby on State Highway 147 in a bluish or greenish vehicle heading towards Mishkat. Bobby was not driving his black Blazer. Bobby was not home the rest of the evening while I was home. And then it goes on to have a map attached, so we'll review that as well. So this is Blaine Dassey's map that is attached to his affidavit, and you can see where the school bus is heading towards Avery's, whereas Bobby is actually traveling to the right, away from Avery's, and we're going to follow that using his cell records. So if you look at this is the following table contains a timeline for Bobby Dassey of 10/31/2005. And you do have a lot of computer activity and a couple calls in there, but you can tell that when he's at his home, which is about 6:36 a.m., he's in Mishkat 1 Tower. And then if you look down, I want to go ahead and look at the 15:02 timeline. That's military time. It would actually be 3:02 p.m. And it shows him on I-43 and West Fisherville Road 1. So let's take a peek and see where that takes us. So using Blaine Dassey's affidavit and Bobby's cell phone records, we can go ahead and we can turn right as we come out of Avery's salvage yard. And then we're going to loop down, we're going to go south, and we're going to go to Fisherville, Road 1, which if you follow it straight across, I've got that little red mark there. That coincides with I-43, which is what we're looking for. And following along the path that Bobby would be taking according to his cell record pings, we would then turn north along this Devil's State Park, and then we would head north up to Maribel Cave. Now, that's where we did find some evidence. Remember, Colburn goes over to investigate what the evidence is. So let's go ahead and check out what evidence was found there. So I went ahead and pulled up Colburn's statement regarding the Maribel Park, and this is what he answered. Again, this is going to be one of those times that I was pulled away for another project. We were almost completed with the search of Steve's truck when I was, again, another Calumet County supervisor told me or asked me where the Maribel Cave Park was. And I said, I described where it was, but not being from Manitowoc County, he didn't really know where it was. And he said, well, some searchers have found some things at the Maribel Cave Park. Can you go out there, see what they have? If you think it's evidence, pick it up. So myself and Detective Remaker went out to Maribel Cave Park, where we made contact with the civilian search party. And they showed us some things that they had found, and we ended up bagging them up and turning them over to Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Well, let's check and see what things were found. So I went ahead and pulled up the Calumet County Sheriff's Department report, and it was filled out by Sergeant Bill Tyson. And he goes on to write, all items were placed in my squad car and secured by locking all doors. I was approached by Sergeant Colburn from the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department and informed he had left the crime scene area to meet with a civilian at the Maribel Caves Park. Sergeant Colburn reported that the citizen found a piece of what appeared to be woman's blue jeans and also found a plastic baggie containing a lubrication box. Sergeant Colburn stated he had the evidence bags and wished to turn them over to me. I did seize those items from Sergeant Colburn, and those items were also placed in my squad car. I informed Sergeant Colburn he should get me all the information on the citizen, and I would do an evidence sheet on that showing the exchange of custody. All items seized were transported to the Calumet County Sheriff's Department and secured in the evidence room. Now that is extremely interesting. So here's the original tag sheet, and you can see it's 05200, and it is evidence tag 8473, part of female blue jeans and pant leg. So I wanted to go a little bit further and see, because if this is true, that this evidence kind of runs consecutively by numbers, 05 possibly being the date, and then the identification number being the next, I would think that 05201 would be our following number. So if we went along with that type of organization, we would then go with 05201, and I would go 7932 screwdriver, and then 7933 hammer claw yellow handle. Interesting. The next we would find would be 7935 clear light lens, 7934 duct tape, and 7938 another roll of duct tape. And then we would have 7931, 7929, and 7940. You'd have a trowel and 3 soil samples. Following that, we would have 7944 bone fragment, and then it would be 7936 cranial bone, and 7943 cranial bone again. And then 7936 unknown material suspect burned bone, empty box. And then followed up by 2 more samples of bone fragments. And then last, some dog stool. So let's talk about the location that the woman's pant leg was found, as well as the lubrication box, and possibly these other items. Now, I know these other items were said to come from Avery's, but I honestly think that there is something to do with the location as well as the item tags in chronological order to prevent overlapping of evidence tags. So let's look at the location. And this is Maribel Caves, and it also has Hotel Hell. Let's dig into that a little bit. So, built in 1900s, the Maribel Cave Hotel in Maribel, Wisconsin, has come to be known locally as Hotel Hell because of the disturbing and persistent rumors surrounding it. So the name Hotel Hell came from the blood on the walls, yelling from the basement, the ring of a bell, and the sound of wheels. The true history of the Maribel Cave Hotel seems to be much less interesting. Apparently it opened in 1900 as a hotel and a therapeutic spa for travelers, which eventually became a tavern. It remained open in one form or another until a blaze destroyed the interior in 1985. In 2006, the building was gutted, all remaining debris removed, leaving only the stone walls standing. I find the two dates interesting. The 1985 is when Steve Avery went to prison, and then 2006 is the time after Teresa Halbach went missing. Now, if there was evidence, which we do know to be true, there was a woman's pants, leg, as well as the lube for sure that was near this area. That's quite a coincidence that it also gets gutted and all the debris removed. Why that timing? It's all about timing in this case. Let's go ahead and do a recap. That was a lot to take in. So we started off with the Reddick on item CZ and B2 and the 3 drops of blood that was found behind this green Jeep in the red shed on Alan and Dolores' property. And then we have Blaine Dassey's affidavit stating that he saw Bobby not driving the black truck, but actually driving what appeared to be some sort of bluish-green SUV. So is this the vehicle that Bobby was driving? And then when we follow his cell pings, it actually takes us right around to I believe it was Fisheryville and I-43, which guides us right up there to Maribel. And that's where Colburn finds the pants leg and the loot box. And then, if we're following the evidence tags and they're in chronological order, is it possible that they found all the 5201 items, including the cranial bones, the hammer, all this, actually at Maribel Caves? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to find out what this all means as we go forward in part 2. You got to wonder, is that what Zellner meant when she said the devil was in the details? Because right there is the Hell Hotel, and we've got the Devil Park there. Just a good question, I guess. So, hey, I want to thank everybody for watching and staying with me through this. It's just my journal, my self-expression, and I appreciate everybody very much for that. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in staying updated, hit the subscribe button. That little bell on the side will give you a notification ding, and that'll let you know when new videos are uploaded. So if you didn't do the time, or if you didn't do the crime, you shouldn't do the time. Thank you so much and have a great day. Is that why Blaine Dassey was eliminated? Is that why Alan Avery was eliminated?
When the lightning in your eyes reveals the darkness in your soul, the world will be reminded of what it already knows. 'Cause the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until the years shall lie.